and welcome to Dorian Destinations episode 14. I'm excited. I'm excited for this week. We have a few interesting topics to touch upon. We're UNESCO sites.
Yes. Well, what is
UNESCO?
It's
Shannon?
World Heritage Sites. These are sites that are, you were trying to stump me, weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. These are sites that have a very rich cultural history, and basically that it's like how do you explain it? It's like they're labeling this particular area to be a historic area. So it's almost like it cannot be touched, knocked down, rebuilt.
Yeah.
And it could be dating way back from BC, even to current stuff, as long as it has some kind of cultural type of importance and history in the world. So these are very important places that we try to protect. Well, not we, like as UNESCO.
UNESCO, but it does represent the world. It is a mankind type of thing where, like, you know, because of the beauty and historical significance, this has to be protected internationally. So it is an international organization that protects these sites. So it's a must see. And then we also have, for a Dorian Expeditions type situation, we're going to talk about the Inca Trail trek.
Okay.
You ready for that?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do this.
I can't wait to do that with you, and the girls.
I'm sure the girls will love it.
Yeah, doubt it. Okay, so but before we get into that, I do want to we do want to touch upon a little fact or fiction action.
Yeah.
All right, let me just bring it up here in my little notes.
Here. I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, you go.
All right. So, fact or fiction, can you cross from Alaska into Russia by land?
I'm going to say no, but you can see Russia from Alaska.
Oh, somebody's making a political joke.
Yeah, I did. I do remember Sarah Palin saying that. So I will say you cannot.
No, and but it is separated only by 55 miles, which is that's pretty close. Cuba from Key West is 90, so this is even closer.
Yeah.
There's no bridge or road crossing, and it's actually considered very dangerous if you know that area. It's
the Bering Strait.
Yeah, it's a lot of snow, and it's actually restricted. You cannot do that.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you the next one because I know that you're not going to get it.
Oh.
Ready? It's illegal to chew gum in Singapore.
I think because it's so offlandish, it probably is true. But I'm trying to figure out what would be the logic behind that? Is it like you can't chew gum?
It's illegal to chew gum.
But why?
Because the teacher says so. It is a fact, actually. Congrats. Since 1992, gum has been heavily restricted to maintain cleanliness. Exceptions exist for therapeutic and dental gum for a prescription.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So, basically, Bubblicious has no market there in Singapore. No market. You wanna hit me with the next one?
Yeah, I'll hit you with the next one. Right. France has the most time zones of any country.
Nah. Fiction.
It is true.
What?
So,
but it's so small.
To overseas territories. Oh, I know why.
Why?
Because of the French Polynesian, the Reunion Island, and France.
That's a trick question.
Spans 12 time zones.
That's a trick. But what about UK? UK has.
But it looks like France has more because they go into the French Polynesian side.
Got it.
Which is like further away. Yes, but true. The UK has the British Isles here in the Caribbean. So
that's crazy.
Interesting.
Damn, that's a lot. All right, I'm gonna hit you up. You can look.
Okay.
All right. You can't take sand or shells from beaches in Italy. Are you gonna talk against your?
And when we were in the Midwest, we weren't allowed to take rocks from the Grand Canyon and all that stuff.
I took a few. I'm not gonna lie.
So I'm gonna say it's true.
Oh my God, you're right. It is true.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to take any sand or shells from the beaches in Italy. Many regions like Sardinia, which that's bucket list for anyone, strictly prohibit removing natural materials. Fines could be exceeding €3,000.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, ready?
Yeah. Mount Everest is the tallest mountain on the earth from base to peak.
That's fiction.
Why do you like?
Well, because I know this. I know
because you
this.
just read it.
I did. It does measure from. It is measured from sea level. It is the highest if you measure from sea level. But from the base to the summit, Hawaii's Mauna Kea is taller. Isn't that crazy?
Then why do they always say Mount Everest, Mount Everest?
From if you measure it from sea level, it is. But below sea level, it's this one, Mount Kea. Yeah. Well, there you have it. Fact or fiction. Obviously, my wife's into this segment this week. Yeah, so there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. If you guys like what you're hearing, please subscribe, comment, like us, share. I don't know, subscribe, maybe. That would be great.
Yeah.
All right. So you ready for the next? You have any travel advice tips before we get to the next segment?
Yeah, let's go. I'm really big on this. I've been traveling for 40-something years. I think it's really important that you do research local laws and customs before you go. I think out of respect, it's important because, and especially Americans, we have like this bad rep of us not caring and being very entitled when we go to other countries. So I do think it's really important that if you are a traveler, you're traveling because you love culture and history and you want to be educated and to be more immersed into other cultures, then this to me is an important thing to be able to have. To know their cultures and to know their laws.
I agree. It's like walking into someone's home, right? You gotta
100%.
respect the rules of the house, except taking off the shoes. I don't think they could do that.
Good.
All right. Understand the geographic quirks that can impact travel, like time zones and border laws, because that's huge, actually.
And this one, I'm gonna say not just that. I have all this. We specialize doing travel in Europe, but our expertise and where most of my clients go is Italy, and I get this all the time. Oh, I just want to go to Sorrento. I'm going to go for the day from Rome. And I'm like, it doesn't work like that. There's a train. You have to get to Naples. And then there's not a fast train. And you just can't do the Amalfi Coast for the day. Like it doesn't, because they're like, oh, it's too expensive. So if I just spend the day there, and I don't think they know the logistics and how far things are. And so that's where us travel agents come in and we explain to you, it's not a quick drive. It may say on Google Maps that it's a 3-hour, car ride, but it's not. It's definitely always more. And if you've traveled anywhere, you know that traffic is completely different. So I'm really big on that. Huge. So
100%. I agree with you. I think sometimes because we look at a map and it looks so close, we feel like it could be that easy. And it's not.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think this goes without saying, but we will say it, respect nature, leave beaches as they are and found them again. You're going to someone's home. You don't want to mess with their home, right? So just don't touch.
No toca.
No toca, as they would say. Avoid tourist myths by working with experts like ourselves. So that's a big one. I think, many people, in the world of ChatGPT, Google and all that, they're like, oh, I already know where I'm going. I already know the quirks. I already know everything because Google and ChatGPT told me. They only know what certain people have put in there. Again, things change rapidly and the algorithms, believe it or not, are not still as fast as human nature. So that's why, again, travel advisors are very, very important because we're in constant contact with what's happening. You want to take the last one?
Every trip is smarter with cultural context.
I'm glad you said that.
I think that just summed up everything we just said.
Pretty much in a nutshell. All right, so there you go. I hope that helped. It's not only fact or fiction fun, but some travel advising as well. All right, so we're going to get now into our second segment.
UNESCO World Heritage Sites that combine cultural richness, immersive experience, and practical accessibility. Let's go.
Let's go. All right, I'm gonna pick the first one because this is a place I always wanted to go, but you never wanted to go.
Before we get started, I just would like to say,
there comes a New Yorker.
For like ever, I've been wanting to go here. Now, this is the comment. Let me just wait before I'm not even going to read anymore. I just would like to say this. This is like a thing that goes on between my husband and I. I'll say, hey, babe, I really want to go here. And he's like, oh, I will never go there. And then like a month later, he's like, babe, my coworker just came back from the place you just mentioned, and now I want to go. So it's never that I want to go. It's always because he met somebody or knows somebody that had just recently had gone there, and then all of a sudden it became his idea.
Well, it's, I need some time to get used to some ideas. But
so
anyway.
this is one of those places. I have been wanting to go to Petra in Jordan forever. And people, I guess was a good way to say it, they know it from Indiana Jones.
Yes, Last Crusade,
and
baby.
so that's where it's the most famous from. And but before then, I've always wanted to go. I love, just think it's actually so stunning.
It is. It's stunning. I mean, you're talking about, these things carved into mountains. I do have beautiful B-roll, so I hope you guys are looking.
He's probably going to put in the Indiana Jones.
No, because I get sued. So I don't want us to get sued. But yeah, it's Petra's. I think something that I think everybody should. You talked me into it, babe. I think it is gorgeous. I am an Indiana Jones fan, so I think it's pretty much iconic red city that's carved in cliffs. If you could think about that.
So they do say to get there early, but I think that for all everywhere you go when you travel because of tourists. And now they are doing the candlelight tour. They're even doing music outside there as well, so it's supposed to be very beautiful. So that would
one of our tips is also combine it with Wandy rum dessert and Dead Sea itinerary, and I think your life could end right there because it's so amazing.
No pun intended.
No, like
Dead Sea.
Oh, get it. Okay,
got it.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
Okay,
so Petra, definitely in Jordan.
Yeah,
that's our first pick there for top UNESCO sites to visit in 2025.
You visit this one.
Yes, Machu Picchu. I will say this, Machu Picchu is phenomenal. It is breathtaking. It is a place where everyone should see once in their life because two reasons. One, the geography is amazing, and I literally was on top of clouds that were raining. And I was above the clouds when it was raining. So I wasn't getting wet, but everybody underneath was getting wet. That's how high we were. And then just the ingenuity of the Incas that were there, it just blew my mind. I mean, how they carved out those circles exactly where the sun is and where the moon is and everything. It was just phenomenal.
Fun fact that Machu Picchu was created by women.
Yeah, they had a big, strong women code, and then also their farming as well is one of the big takeaways because they knew based on elevation and temperature, they knew how to farm, which was pretty amazing. The Inca Citadel, it's perched on the Andes, is one of the 7 wonders of the world. So that's something you definitely have to see. I
didn't know you needed permits to go there, but this would make great sense. So,
yeah,
but permits months in advance, it says. Yeah. And then you could there is a bus that goes, but there is that Inca Trail that you...
And a train too. It takes you from Cusco to Machu Picchu.
Which is what you did.
I did the train.
But you could do the Inca Trail, and they have an overnight, and they even have, I think it's a couple days long, that you can do the trail, and then you go all the way up by foot.
Which we'll break down in our next segment.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, and you have to usually add like a little bit trip, your expedition, whatever you decide to do, because... the elevation gets you have to get used to the elevation in Cusco. They usually give you coca leaves tea, so you could it helps kind of smooth the nausea, altitude sickness. So the next one, babe, you wanna try to pronounce that one?
Angkor, Cambodia.
That's pretty good.
Yes, I know because I've always wanted to go.
Wow. Yeah, largest religious monument on Earth.
Yeah. It sure is.
That's pretty amazing.
There's a multi-day pass to explore even beyond the monument. So it says don't miss the Tamprum and use a local guide for all the hidden historical gems. When it comes to these places that like Cambodia or a lot of places in Asia, I'm really big on having tour guides. One, language is a huge thing. It's one thing that I feel like when you go to Europe, a lot of people do speak English and or Spanish, so it's kind of easy to get around. But when you're in these further places, I do suggest to get a tour guide. Plus, you want to know all the details and all the juicy gossip and all the stuff that you're not able to read, So having that tour guide for me is amazing. So
100%. Yeah, because I think that could be daunting, right? Like when you go to, especially like an Asian country that even like the letters, you don't even understand the symbols. It could be a little daunting. So yeah, definitely agree with that one. The next one is Alhambra, Spain. It's a palace fortress blending Islamic architecture with gardens and fountains. So this is probably up your alley, babe. This is something that you love, that architecture.
Yeah, I love all of that. Yes.
Yeah. So we recommend to stay in Granada's old quarter and visit early in the morning or at night. That's where you're going to see the most beauty out of that, and pair with a trip through Andalusia's white villages. That should be
very
gorgeous.
pretty.
Yeah.
All right. So, you can also, since you're going to be over in Spain, this is another one. If you go to Sintra, Portugal. So it's known for this fairy tale castles and its misty forests that make a must see. They say recommend to visit the Pena Palace and the Quinta. I'm going to butcher this. Go ahead, baby.
La Quinta de Regalia.
Yes. And take the historic train and enjoy the pastel di nata in the town square.
So those are some, I mean, there's a lot more UNESCO sites, but those are some of our top picks there because, you know, it's a little mixture of everything, right? Europe, a little bit of Asia, and then the Middle East. So we thought that was a pretty cool list. What we do recommend is, once you're there, is really get immersive experiences. You know, attend cultural festivals, traditional craft workshops, stay in boutique heritage hotels, you know, for local charm, like really feel, you know, don't stay in a Holiday Inn, you know what I mean? Like you don't want to do that. And then use audio guides whenever possible, but we do recommend better a local guide because, you know, that's a recording versus a person that could really kind of give you a little bit more information.
Yeah. So these are some planning trips that I do suggest to all of my clients. And it doesn't matter, you know, where you go, always summer, right? Because the kids are off school and things seem to like wind down during that time, even without children, that people in work culture, that's the time that people like to take vacations. So best time to plan travel is off season, and this reduces crowds and obviously the cost. I always say this all the time, and I have tons of family I work with, and they're like, oh, I have to go to Europe during the summer. Why is it so expensive? So just to give you an average cost, going to Europe during the summer, your plane tickets are going to be anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 round trip. And if you go, let's say in October or let's say February or March, your tickets are going to be $700. So you're talking about half the price. Yeah. And sometimes we've even gotten in October, actually early November, we got round trip tickets from Miami to Venice for $400. Yeah. So those off seasons, I do suggest. And then I hear all the time, oh, but my kids have school and what have you. Yes, I mean, if you're not making this a habit, but I think it's important that you do take the kids out of school during school time. They need some time to regroup, and it's kind of nice to go when it's last
and also too, like think about like Thanksgiving weekend, right? Remember, that's not a holiday. It's a holiday for the United States, but nowhere else in the world. So play around with those dates, like before and after that week. So therefore, you can maximize your time. And then the costs are not going to be as expensive as summer. So that's a good spot, I think, for kids and families.
I tell all my clients, and now I have to say kudos. We live in Miami. Miami-Dade Schools now is doing a calendar 2 years out in advance, where before they only do a year out. They're doing 2 years. So I always like to say, look at the calendar, look at the vacation days. And a lot of times in your district, they have like a teacher work day or a teacher planning day that you're able to play around with the teacher planning day and a holiday. So you're able to use those long weekends. And then if they have a holiday, you can actually go for almost 2 weeks and the kids only miss maybe 4 days of school. So you look at the calendar and maximize the times. Yeah. And mid travel days, like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, are usually cheaper than flying on the weekend. So those are my hot tips for you guys.
Look at you. I'm telling you, how can you not have us in your life? That's what I'm saying.
This is another one that I always push on, and I always say this. This says to start planning 6 to 9 months in advance. And I always get, but how do I know what I'm doing in 9 months? Well, if you book your travel, you know what you're doing in 9 months. And also, too, it gives you tons of time to really make your trip amazing, right? So I always like to get the hard base down for that travel. This is my dates. These are the hotels. Plug it in. And then you start building your itinerary off of that. When you have that 6 to 9 months, you're able to really do the research, get the dinner reservations. Right now, you have no idea. I'm trying to get my clients into this hot restaurant, and I was able to get other clients in because I was able to book the restaurant out further out in dates versus saying, hey, I want to go to Italy next week, get me here. It doesn't work that way. So, and it saves money. So I push that. I even say a year in advance.
Yeah. The longer the better, and trust me, A, because it's more affordable. B, it's easier to plan. And again, if things change, because the world is could change, and certain areas could be affecting certain things, you have time to fix it. So it's always better to always plan ahead. So I agree.
Yep,
I agree. All right, so we're gonna get into now a little Dorian expedition action. Right? Are you ready for this? We're gonna go down the Inca Trail, babe, to Machu Picchu. It's a 4-day.
Where are we? Oh, we skipped all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did because we gave him a lot of good tips.
Okay.
Yeah.
We should save.
I just want to get into the action. What?
We should save those tips for
another day, for a rainy day.
No, being serious.
Okay. All right. So let's get into the Inca Trail. All right. So this is kind of a top line 4-day itinerary. It's not details because, again, it really does depend on who you are, right? But so basically what I'm going to overview, it's basically the Sacred Valley in Peru, 4 days, 3 nights. The trekking distance or the hiking distance is about 26 miles or 42 kilometers. The level, is it challenging? It's challenging to moderate to challenging. And I think altitude, not necessarily the track, but the altitude is the biggest factor. And the best time to go is between May and September. It's a dry season and clear skies, so you could see all those stars and the mountains. All right, you ready?
Yeah, day one.
Day one.
Cusco.
Yeah, so Cusco, you're gonna leave from Cusco. Again, you could transfer from Cusco on a trailhead to the trailhead at kilometer 82. That's approximately about 3 hours. You're gonna see the Urubamba River and La Catapapa. I can't even say that. Visit La Catapapa. It's an ancient Incan farming complex.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right.
And then you could camp at Huela Bamba,
and it is almost 10,000 feet.
Yeah, 3,000 meters up and up there. So
hydrate.
Yeah. So you want to take the second one, babe, from Huela Bamba?
Yes, and then it goes through Dead Woman's Pass, which is kind of scary, no?
Yeah, I think they said that dead women, whatever. Just go.
Okay, and it is the highest point of the trail, and now we're reaching about almost 14,000 feet high, and that's very high.
Yeah, that's
very, very, very high.
Yeah, I can't even imagine because I think the elevation that I went up with Eddie in the AT was 4,000, and I was dying.
Yeah,
imagine
that's
13,000.
Really
it's 4,000 meters high. It's insane.
And then you're going to be camping at Pacaimayo.
Mayo.
Mayo? I think it's Mayo.
I say Mayo. So you say Mayo.
Yeah,
Pacaimayo.
And they said for tips to bring the trekking poles, which I think when we hike, even little hikes, we bring trekking poles. I think it's important to have them, even if you have one, and because it's a very steep trail. So.
Yeah, but a lot of because we do recommend for you to go with an actual guide, not to just go solo. And a lot of these companies do provide this equipment. So just so you know,
with a trail guide.
With a trail guide, which is perfect. And then, let me see. Day three. So in Pacamayo, I'm not even going to say all these words because there's a lot of letters and I don't know how to pronounce them or put them together. But you will pass incredible Incan sites. And then you go through the cloud forest with Stone Pass and view of snow-capped peaks. So,
it's really pretty.
So day three is really a gorgeous time to go trekking there. Then we do want you to explore the Wanya, a stunning terrace ruin near the final campsite, which is Wanya campsite. It's about plus or minus 8,000 feet high or 2,700 meters high. Mm-hmm. It is considered day 3 the most scenic day. So that's the day really, I think, where you could kind of like pull out your phone and start doing selfies. Yeah. That's the day you want to.
And then your last day, which is day 4, is Sun Gate, and it's the arrival at the Machu Picchu site. So you're going to be hiking before down to reach. It's the Inti Punca experience sunrise over Machu Picchu, and it's supposed to be a really spiritual like moment. And you were there. Did you feel spiritual?
No, I kind of did because I was praying to Jesus that I won't die.
He's afraid of heights.
I'm afraid of heights, and then what happened? Because now it's a lot more tourists have gone, so they've kind of enhanced the trail a little bit with like stones and handrails. When I went, it was just like and it was raining. It was just a wet stone on a cliff, and then you had to go up, and then there was a bunch of like Chinese tourists in front of me. I grabbed one of those tourists. And I was like, if I go down, you go down. Like, I was just really, really terrified.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
So it was kind of spiritual.
So you have like a 2-hour walking tour, and you have tons of time to explore the site. And then you're just going to take the shuttle bus back down. There is no hiking out of there. So that's a good way to end it, I think.
Yeah. It's great.
I would love to do this.
Yeah. I think I would, because it's not, I think the treachery is the height. And again, we got to see exactly how much you cover in height, in elevation in the time period.
I think after this hike, this is something that he would love to do, is like heading over to the hot springs and having a nice massage.
Yeah, it's called Aguas Caliente, which it's not very creative, but it is what it is. And then you could take that train back to Cusco, which, by the way, Cusco is a cool little town.
Yeah.
I saw an actual Incan. So they show you there's a church that was built by the Spaniards over an Incan temple. And what was amazing is that there's been earthquakes there. So then you see the Spanish architecture just fall apart. And then you see what stood and stayed standing was the Incan architecture. So it's fascinating.
They were onto something.
Oh yeah, they were onto something. Those damn aliens. But yeah, it's amazing. Honestly, Peru is just phenomenal. And even like a pre-trip in Lima, where you're gonna stay in one of the best culinary cities in the world, then you do that hike.
I kind of think I want to do this for my birthday.
Oh yeah, I'm down. But the kids can't hike that.
Yeah, it'd probably be too much for them.
Yeah. But I mean, we don't have to hike. We could just do the train.
No, I kind of want to hike. I want to see that. Like,
I do want to hike this.
Yeah. All right. So these are great tips. And we say this even for any kind of hiking. But for here, it's broken in hiking shoes. And I think that's really important because you do not want to go with a brand new pair of hiking shoes and get blisters, waterproof layers, headlamp, sunscreen, reusable waters, electrolytes, insect repellent, and a small day backpack. So I think that's important. It says optional, but I really am a big person on those trekking poles. Even if you don't use them or just use one, I think it's important to have that, and snacks. You always need some snacks.
Yeah. And what I love is that a lot of these operators, they do provide you tents, the actual meals, porters, and purified water. So you don't have to worry about survival, and feeding. So you have, it's provided. And not only that, you have a guide with you, which, like I said, it's also nice, like when you're in the middle of a foreign country hiking like that, especially like an Inca Trail, that you have a local with you.
So, they suggest to go there 2 to 3 days early so you can get acclimated with the weather, temperature, and the location of where it is because of the altitude. There's always medicines that you can take. Yeah. So they have all of that.
But just take the cocoa tea. I took it, and honestly, it helped. It helped a little bit. But I didn't really suffer from motion sickness. I mean, elevation sickness, because I was more terrified of falling to my death. But anyway, so what we do recommend that you stay before your trek and then after is obviously Cusco. We talked about it. In terms of luxury places that you could stay is Palacio de Inca or a Belmont Hotel. Those are
Belmont is luxury, and they're all over the world. So, you can't go wrong with that. My thing just
Yeah, and then the boutique is El Mercado or Antigua Casona San Blas. It's a boutique hotel there in Cusco. Those are some pretty cool options. And then Aguascalientes, which is the post. We do recommend Inca Terra, Machu Picchu, Pueblo Hotel. And moderate is El Mapi by Inca Terra. Again, Inca Terra is probably monopolizing a little area because it is a very small area. I remember going there and it was just a lot of locals, trying to solicit you, obviously, because, you do kind of like, if you do take the train, I will say this, I will advise that you will see a lot of poverty on the way, which, it's sad. But it is what it is. Unfortunately, that's the life that they have. But it must have kind of grown a little bit, that area, since I've been there. Because I think I was there over 20 something years ago, and so I'm sure it's kind of gone up a little bit since I've been there.
So some booking advice: you do need permits. That area is heavily regulated with limited amounts of permits. And once again, we're going back to book 6 to 8 months in advance, especially for high season, which is between June and August. Use licensed operators. Certified tour companies are only allowed in that area, so make sure that they are certified. And obviously, we always like that best practices when you're dealing with other people's cultural and environmental places, especially places like this that are so protected.
Yeah, and so much history there. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This information, found it informative. If you want more information, feel free to send us a message, DM, comment, ask, and subscribe. And then we're always here for you. Remember, we're not travel influencers, we're travel advisors. So anything that we did talk about today, you can book with us.
Cheers, everybody. Have a great day.
I'm not going to say it. Ciao, bacalao. Bye.